But I tell you what, folks, at least in this part of the country, the Midwest, the Southeast, see, we have to deal with the very worst Mother Nature can throw at the human race. See, on the West Coast, California, they don't have tornadoes, and they don't have hurricanes. That's just on this coast. Tornadoes occur in the Midwest, the Southeast. New England, like Vermont, Rhode Island, they don't have tornadoes. You've heard the expression, it's biblical, and your mother has said it. You've heard it. God never gives us more, or puts more on us than we can handle. That's how come he sends that stuff to us. He would never send a tornado to damn California. Hell, they just couldn't deal with it. That's why all they get out there is what I call silly weather, limp-wristed weather. Like mud's like mud, it's damn mud. Where else in America would mud be a natural disaster? Down here, we put big wheels on something and get out and play it. Is it just me, or does it seem like tornadoes in the news more than they used to be? I mean, every week there's a tornado somewhere. Of course, I'm from tornado country. I live in Georgia. And I know there's a lot of heartache, there's a lot of tragedy. We hate to see it on the news. But I got this theory I've come up with after a lifetime of watching news coverage or tornadoes. I believe there's a conspiracy to make those of us who live in tornado country to look ignorant on TV. Don't you find it odd that after thousands of tornadoes, thousands of destroyed homes over the years, they never can interview anybody that's been to the dentist? You have never seen on the evening news a tornado victim from a trailer park in a three-piece suit, a monogrammed shirt, going, yes, this was rather devastating. A tree fell on the Lexus, and there's quite a bit of rubble in our hot tub. I believe with all my heart that when a tornado hits, the news director at the local TV station, he tells his reporter, get out to the trailer park and interview a dumbass. And try to find one who's married to a fat woman. And listen, have you noticed that everything's destroyed except for the produce sign? And the camera zooms in on that. Tomatoes for sale, spelled with an R. 45 cents a pound or £2 for $1. Now the whole world knows we can't spell, and hell, we can't add either. And here's the couple they interview. The husband, the head of the household, he's always real sickly, anemic looking, real frail, like 112 pounds. 108 without the belt buckle. Wearing a John Deere cap. Got that out of layaway. He's got a tattoo on a wooden arm. He saw a sign at the mall, tattooing while you wait. He said, hell, I ain't gotta wait. Got a tire gauge in his pocket. That's in case the trailer don't seem level. And he's he's wearing a key ring with 2 pounds of keys. What the hell is that all about? There's only 3 doors in this man's life. Truck, trailer, and tool shed. Now there it says next to his wife. His wife, God bless her, weighs 400. Wearing those tight polyester pants. You know, little irrigation ditches and that. Why do they wear that? Don't they know how that looks? I know they're fat, but hell, they're not blind. How can a 400-pound woman put on tight polyester pants, then look in a mirror and go, all right? And she's always wearing I just thought of this, I'm gonna throw it in. She's always wearing flip-flops. Because she thinks her feet are her best feature. And sadly, she's right about that. And she's always wearing a beeper. Let me tell you all about fat people and beepers. That's where the old kind of beeper, the one that made a noise. They got these modern high-tech ones now. They don't make a noise. They simply vibrate. Well, trust me on this. If you weigh 400 pounds, you're missing calls. You'll feel something, you'll just think it's sweat, you know. And what does the guy always say about the tornado? I thought it was a freight train. There's not a railroad track within 100 miles. But this rocket scientist, thinks the locomotive just made a left into his driveway. Folks, look, I am not the smartest guy in the world. But I can tell you this, if I was sitting in my den at home and just thought that there's a train somewhere near my mailbox, my financials would be out of that. And by the way, let me give you a little tip too. You remember a few years ago where the tornado went downtown Nashville, Tennessee? It went right downtown. Tornadoes just don't go downtown. And to make sure that never happens where you live, here's what you need to do. On the outskirts of your city, put up a decoy trailer park. That'll be like cheese in a trailer. I tell you what, you pay close attention and see if this right here for most of you out there tonight, see if this don't bring back some precious, fond childhood memories to you about your mother and that covered dish. You think back a long time ago now when you was like, oh, just yay big. It'd be late in the evening, early night time. Everybody's out on the front porch after supper, about half asleep. Pot roast to do that to you. Remember, that was the good old days in America where a mother forced the kids to overeat. Made them eat. All right, y'all don't eat all that pot roast. I ain't gonna make another one. Well, hell. Do you remember this? Remember as a little kid, we'd all be sitting on the doorsteps, the kid would. All the grown folks could spend an hour
discussing among themselves the last time it came a good rain. To a small kid, that never made no sense. But we couldn't say nothing back in those days. You couldn't back talk your folks. But they'd be sitting on the front porch, somebody would go, boy, we sure could use a good rain. Hell, it ain't rained real good since that last Friday in May. Somebody's going, no, hell, it's rained since then. No, I'll tell you how I know. They're Friday before Memorial Day. Memorial Day is last Monday in May. Friday before that, my car broke down on I-20. Had to walk 3 miles to the payphone. I got soaked. Last damn Friday in May. So I said, no, I'll tell you what. It rained the second Saturday in June. Reason you don't know, you was in jail that weekend. Then he said, well, that wasn't my fault. If y'all got a bondsman, I could have got out there on Friday. Then somebody else will say, well, anyway, we need rain. Well, yeah, I didn't say we didn't need no rain. And in our little hearts as children, we were sitting on the doorstep thinking to ourselves, who gives a rat's ass when it rains?
This is about 3 years ago, upstate New York. There's a small airplane in a holding pattern, waiting for clearance to land. When suddenly, without warning, the plane just dropped out of the sky, hit the ground. It killed some people, but nobody we know. Well, do you remember why that plane fell so abruptly? It ran out of gas. Do you hear me? I'm thinking, don't they have a gauge or something? If I was the pilot up there at 35,000 feet and the gas hand was on E, I'd land on the freeway at Texaco. They may not have any jet fuel, but hell, it's worth a shot. At least you could grab a Coke and a pack of crackers. Go pee. See, folks, you remember what I'm telling you right now. Everything they tell you and I about the safety of a plane was never intended for our safety. It was intended primarily to make us feel better mentally about being out there. Just like the oxygen mask. They say if we need it, it's going to pop down out of the ceiling. I ain't never seen it. I don't believe it's up there. Then they say if it does come down, for us to breathe first before we hand it to the person next to us. Well, hell, I was going to do that anyhow. I mean, I'm a pretty nice guy. I just can't see myself looking at somebody I don't even know and going, well, hell, I don't have anything to live for. Why don't you breathe?
We worry about things we shouldn't worry about. Just like the endangered species people. Ah, damn. I got a theory that not one single person really cares about the long-tailed kangaroo rat. Do you realize that the majority of the American people support that legislation that's cost us billions of dollars in the past 40 years to preserve various species, some special turtle, some special lizard, and that damn rat? Why? Think. Close your eyes and think. 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 It's a rat. It's a damn rat. It's a damn rat. It's a damn rat. Hell, I hope it does. Just like previous generations, the one that Reader's Digest says are happy, if they saw a rabbit, they kill it. It's a rat. It's a rat. It don't care how how long the damn tail was. It's still a damn rat. See? So we worry about the damn rat. We worry about the weather. I mean, come on. It's a rat. We individually, as my father would say, don't give a shit. But we pretend we care because it makes us, we're more sensitive, we're more intellectually embroiled. It's what I'm saying. For me to worry about endangered species, you'd have to convince me that we're almost out of chickens. I love fried chicken. My favorite is Popeye's chicken, by the way. You know what I think is probably endangered? Chicken legs. This may have happened to you, okay? I go into Popeyes, I want a 3-piece snack. I want a chicken breast and 2 drumsticks. And the young lady says, I'm sorry, sir, we're out of drumsticks right now. Well, see, I'm not like most people. I don't go, well, okay. I want somebody to explain that to me. I say, go get the manager. I know he's out there mopping, but go get him. You are in the chicken business. You have a neon sign on the window that says chicken. You have billboards along the interstate system advertising chicken. You spend multi-millions of dollars on network television advertising chicken. What happened to the drumsticks? When those chicken breasts come driving through, what were they riding on? Are these handicapped chicken? See, that's what I worry about. I don't eat spotted owl. You know, but some of y'all may know this. For the past 2 years, I've been dealing with an equilibrium problem. Y'all know what that is? Hell, you just fall down. And it's getting worse than better. And 3 days ago, I fell in the parking lot at the bank. However, about 3 weeks ago, I took a major fall. I just hit my head. I called the paramedics. They got there very quickly. I was in the hospital for 2 days. They did all kind of testing, and they assured me that there was no brain damage. I said, well, no brain damage. I'll just go to Nashville. So, well, here I am. But anyways, just so you know, folks, I've only fallen one time while I was performing, and that was in Talladega, Alabama, at the Ritz Theater. And here's what happened. This was not even around. I just moved forward like a foot, and I fell flat on my face, and they all just started applauding. They thought it was part of the show. And I made the mistake of saying, I've fallen and I can't get up. They thought I was doing a skit, and they just kept applauding. They wouldn't help me up. So you folks on the front row right here, if I topple over and you don't catch me, I'm gonna sue you. So, but everything's good though. Hell, I'm in great shape. Just glad to be here. There's always something going on. The year before all that started, people thought I was kind of handicapped because I couldn't hardly walk with my right leg. What happened was I had pulled a groin muscle. If you fellows have ever pulled a groin muscle, that can be devastating. And I was so embarrassed because I pulled a groin muscle at Golden Corral I'm not making this up. Dan McGinney would tell you this happened. We were on Interstate 85 going towards Charlotte. I saw a billboard that said, all you can eat buffet. I said, well, hell, let's just have lunch. Exited, went down this access road. As we were approaching the entrance to Golden Corral, a church bus. Yeah. A women's auxiliary bus. A whole busload of fat Christian women. I mean, God bless them. I told Dan, I said, we better run. If those fat women get in line first, we'll be here all damn day. And that's what happened. I was just rushing, not paying attention. As I come in the entrance, somebody had spilled either tea or water on the floor. I didn't see it. I slipped. I caught my left hand on this hand railing, but my right leg kept going. Ah, damn, it hurt. And it really hurt when I woke up the next morning. So what I did, I went to one of those little urgent care centers. They did some x-rays, and the doctor told me, he said, you have pulled a groin muscle. I said, are you sure? He said, well, somebody pulled it. I said, well, it had to be me. So the moral of the story is this, folks. Don't make fun of people. God will knock you down. I made fun of those fat women, and God came by my eyes like, man, you're about to do.
You're leaving Sears, you're headed toward the... Oh, listen. You know what else you do while you're there? You always take time to look at that 72-drawer tool chest. Every Sears store has one. They've never sold the darn thing. Nobody wants it. It weighs a ton and a half. Where would you put it? They put it on sale twice a year. Nobody buys it. I grew up going with my daddy to look at that. He'd sit in the Sunday morning paper. He'd say, look at him, Junior. That was me. I see Sears has got that 72-drawer tool chest on sale again. You want to go over there after dinner and look at it? I'd say, yeah, I'll go with you over there. See, I guess that that's what's really wrong with this country today. Sons don't go with their dads to look at toolboxes no more. I bet you that there's some of you in here that never went with your daddy to look at paneling. See? My dad didn't need no paneling. He just liked to look at it. He'd sit in the paper on Sunday morning. He'd say, look at him, Junior. I see they got that paneling on sale again. You want to go over there and look at it? I'd say, yeah, I'll go with you over there. Anyway. And I'll tell you something else, too. I'm going to see my dad again Monday. If he wants to go look at something else, hell, I'm going to go with him. You ain't got but one daddy, you know. All right, now, we're still in that Sears store, ain't we? We got to move along. Now, all right, you're leaving Sears, headed toward the door. On your way out, you bump into an optometrist. Listen to me, there's an eye doctor working in the basement of Sears. Don't you know that his mom and dad are real proud of him? Think about his parents. They're the ones that mortgaged the house, cashed up the life insurance to educate this twerp, hoping someday to brag on him. Hey, George, that son of yours, the one went to college for 13 years, where's he working now? Sears. I work more days per year than any other comedian. and that includes the comedians who are household names and those you've never heard of. This year, as an example, there's been, I think about 100 days in this year so far, and I've worked 89 of those.
James Gregory appeals to everybody. I've never seen anybody who didn't enjoy his show.
He's extremely funny, one of the funniest men. He's billed as the funniest man in America.
See, there are certain things it takes to be a headliner. You can either go on Carson one time and you're automatically a headliner. You be on Letterman one time, you're automatically a headliner. You can, and believe this or not, this is unbelievable to you. You can have a bit part in any movie where you had one scene, and you'll be a headliner automatically, you know. Now, since I had none of that, I had to earn the headline spot. And the way I did that was always being funnier than anybody else on the show. I would say that 90% of all my material is based on something that really happened, or it's very close to something that really happened that gave me an idea. Most of my comedy is based on everyday occurrences that average people can relate to. And I do think that's one reason that I've been as successful as I have.